And we are good.
Not yet. Poof! The views and opinions expressed in this program are strictly those of the hosts and our guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of associated brands or figures. Poof!
Greetings, crewmen, and welcome back to the greatest show this side of the fall line. You know it. You love it. You've brushed your ass off and parked it in your favorite spot in the sand for it. It's... C1, want to give me some help on this one?
I'm not a crook.
We're not, though.
Stranded with us today is the ultimate angular assailant, the trifecta of progress when it comes to the movers and shakers of artistry here in Maconga. Or at least it would be if Heisenberg weren't such a flake. But we've got his second in command, Colin.
Hey, I still get the tricorn.
Absolutely, yeah, man. You get yourself a tricorn, you get a damn fine coat. You know, you just don't get a full length one.
It's fine. Okay. It's fine. You know, yeah. Pistols loaded.
There you go.
I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
Yeah, man. You know, you get to, you get to do a little bit of brandishing. You know, you still get to look the part.
Hey, everyone knows me as the pirate, so as long as I get to play it, that's
there you
all
go.
that matters.
See, and that's fine that they know him as the pirate because everybody seems to know me as the captain. So I'm not worried about that at all.
There you go. It all worked out.
Absolutely. But as I was saying, we were talking about a trifecta of greatness. An angular force that replicates our own, dare I say it, Sea Wind and CJ. I mean, really it does. I mean, to think that this little strip of concrete and a few buildings just a few years ago was just another forgotten piece sitting in the back of the industrial sections of Maconga. And you guys, put it in your words, Colin. What would you say that you guys have done with this place?
Well, I mean, I would say that we have transformed it for sure. I think anybody who came out here when we did that very first graffiti ball in May of 2019, I mean, this whole place looked like it was industrial district Macon. And now you walk out here now, and I think a lot of people think, oh, shit, how did a little slice of Atlanta get down here? And I am thrilled to hear that.
And you know what? I'm as thrilled as I am to hear that. That only motivates me. It only motivates me to actually ascend past that. You know what I mean?
No kidding.
Because here's the thing. Like, looking back at it, you know, there's only... If you're driving from the south to get here, you're going to hit here before you hit Atlanta. No offense. I want you to hit here, and I want you to stay. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to see that all there is to offer here. And you guys just seem to be that fine blend of so many different views. And just to even look at a couple of the different examples that we have here. You know, you have Black legends painted on just about every wall. You have local heroes in memoriam on this wall over here. You've got whatever creative outlet somebody can think of. If there's exposed building or even concrete, you see creativity just splurged all over it.
You know, that's the fun thing about working in a living graffiti park is that you've got so much that just happens out here, you know, and it's just, that's what's always so amazing about it is that you never know when you walk back the next day what wall's about to change, who's coming down here to check it out, who's about to get inspired by a piece out here. I mean, it is definitely built by the community and for the community, and I think that's part of what's made it so fun and made that transformation so magical in so many different ways.
As all things, I think, should be, really. Like, things should be forged by the community that lives around it, right?
Absolutely.
And this is almost like a seed, you know, for people that were like, well, I guess maybe I'll try to make it work in Atlanta, or, you know, I'll make it try and work somewhere else. Like, even some of our associates have been like, yeah, there's a lady, she makes furniture, and she's this old lady, and she sells it, you know, but she's like, yeah, the people in Macon don't have the money, so she's going to move to Atlanta. You know, and all I could think was, but if they've got the money to buy from you, why don't you just have them buy from you here?
No kidding. And
have them come to you.
You know, that's, I think, the shifting perception in Macon, though, now, is that all of a sudden we're on the cusp of such good things that the people who are here are going, oh, wait a minute. You know, when I started school like 4 or 5 years ago, or when I moved here out of the blue because my husband got a job at some random bumfuck place, or whatever it is that brought people in, and Macon was kind of, it had some gusto, but still, downtown wasn't fully open.
It wasn't popping.
Everything was just there. But now, all of a sudden, people are like, oh, okay, well, I was planning on going to Atlanta. I was going to go to SCAD down in Savannah. I was going to go to Asheville or Nashville or wherever. But look around, like, there's actually things happening here all of a sudden. Maybe I'll stick it out for 6 more months, see what I can find, see what's going on, and I think that's, at the end of the day, what's really changing the Macon space is just the sheer fact that people are hanging around, people are being a part of the changes. These changes are, all of a sudden, the groups are coming together. I mean, us are as a perfect
Absolutely.
example. It was only a couple of years ago that we all really connected, and now already look at what we've done through the middle of a fucking pandemic on top of that.
And as opposed to, how people come through here and, say they'll be like, well, I'm on my way to Atlanta, like you were just saying, going to SCAD and everything like that. But it's like, as opposed to going to Atlanta and being part of something that's already there, and already very, very present, very evident, like the art community in Atlanta does not need any help.
No,
It does not need any help being built up upon, okay?
No, it's so full.
And yet here, it's like, if you're willing to come here, look around and realize that fertile soil doesn't always already have a fucking crop growing on it, then you can actually be on the wave.
Well, and fertile soil needs to lay fallow for a while, and I think, that's what we watched with Macon in the 90s and early aughts, was just that, like, everything shifted for this area, and all of a sudden it just fell fallow. People stopped really working on things because that traffic just wasn't there to work towards. And then all of a sudden, that kernel comes back, right? Those seeds get planted. And I mean, it takes a minute. It just takes a minute for those to grow. But now we're watching this field emerge. And I do think that, with the people that we're keeping around, every week I am out here or downtown and I am finding another new talented person popping into town. Somebody who's moved from out of state, from out of the country, from all over. And they're coming to Macon and they're going, wow, I really like this. Like, I enjoy the bit of a slower pace city, but that has this potential behind it and has this relatively affordable cost of living when you look around the rest of the country. And I mean, it's a good place to be and to actually set up roots. And exactly like you were saying, you can live and work and make it, and let's bring the Atlanta people down. Let's bring the Savannah people up. Let's bring people in from Mobile and from Nashville and say, come here, come check out the work we've done.
And it's like, and to put it bluntly, for the people that are like, yeah, man, but I got to make my bank. Dude, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Trust me, if they've got the money to pay for your art, they've got the money for a few gallons of gas to drive to it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Make yourself. If you're already worth buying from, you are worth traveling for.
Right.
This all reminds me of, I was looking up recently because I was just curious. I was like, what the fuck is the purpose of weeds, right? And so apparently one important purpose that they serve is that they help hold the soil together and keep it, viable so
absolutely.
that other things can come in. And so, and what I think happened here in Macon a lot of times too is you had a lot of flowers growing here that thought they were weeds and were told they were weeds and that they deserved to be pulled up and plucked and destroyed. And
that is a beautiful way to put it. And of course, it's those same people saying, oh, go to Atlanta, go to Savannah, And, so something I found out about a couple of years ago that I really liked was the I Heart Macon pledge. Have you guys heard of this?
I remember that.
Right? And it's still, it's because that's the cool thing about the pledge is it's like an idea,
And the easiest way to remember it is the M looks like the palm wonderful.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Absolutely. But, it basically said, don't leave Macon and go talk shit about Macon. When you leave Macon, you need to talk about all the wonderful things going on. Whatever it is that you find good, but you talk only about the good and you don't ignore the bad. You discuss the bad, but you always put the good first and say, these are the things we've been growing and building and learning. And these are the problems that we're trying to find solutions for.
Here's how we're trying to leave it better than we found it.
Exactly, right? And I always thought that was just, because like you said, I grew up at theater here, I grew up in art schools here, I've watched this talent, as I'm sure you guys all have, grow and bloom and blossom, and it's just like, holy shit, man. I was on stage with this guy who's now going on towards his 3rd Broadway musical.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a Gray Henson, a local guy here. Yeah, right. We all know Gray probably through the grapevine, and it's like Gray has just done wondrous things, and thank God he came up at the time he did, you know, right where, and I mean, of course, he had the talent and he had the skill, and then he went out, and because we had such a good youth actors company that built him up, we were like, go to Carnegie Mellon, and he's like, I will, and then he jumps in, and boom, I mean, he's in Book of Mormon, and come on, like, that's just one small, tiny little example of the culture that is raised up here and roaring to go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much the standard for most creatives that come out of here. You know, so it's always sad to see when that creativity gets stunted, which is why places like Triangle are so important.
Absolutely.
Like the sheer amount of things that we're, you know, going to be doing out of this location in the near future are just endless, first of all.
Well, shit, what we're doing today is important because the problem is being, like just like you described, it hasn't been for lack of talent springing up here. It's just nobody's talking about it.
Right, and nobody was wanting to support it here and nurture it right around
crazy.
here.
But then, but then these same people, they go to these other places and they get that attention and that coverage and things. Like I've been cussing people out for the past 2 weeks regarding my classmate Gabrielle Williams. She's currently going viral across the nation because she's been on TikTok basically cooking dishes that were inspired by Disney films.
Wow.
Like, you know, things like this. And so the press caught hold of it. She's all in the New York Times and all these huge publications, and not a single publication right here in Macon was talking about it.
Right.
You know, and so that's why Kat was impassioned, and we've always been impassioned about talking about what's happening with the people that are right here, the superstars we have right here, and just letting people know.
And I mean, I think that's another good point too, though, is that Macon always seems to be like right behind Macon, and you're like, you don't find out about things until a week later, and you're like, how is this possible that all the time we have these amazing things going on and 10 people know about it when it's actually happening, but then 500 people know about it the next week? And I hate that here, and that's always, I mean, just been like a grinds my gears type of thing where I'm like, really, what does it take for us to just tell each other that shit's going on when it's going on? But I agree too. It's like we need to always look back to our roots, and like for every different category. I mean, I watched this. I was on YouTube during the pandemic, just looking up Macon stuff, you know. And there was this.
Pretty standard.
No kidding, right? Sailing on boats in the Caribbean. That's just what I did for 6 months. But there was this great GPB documentary out there on YouTube on Macon.
I heard about it.
It's great, and it's like what it did was actually, it's funny. It really honed in on Grant's Lounge downtown, which I thought was kind of fantastic, being that, like, you know, I'll never forget Nomad going, "We were here before CBGB and we're still here now." And I'm like, but no, that's a serious claim to fame. Like, you know, it has this history. And yet then all of a sudden they're going to this bike parts, like this aerospace bike parts making factory right here in Macon. What? And I was like, it's this multi-million-dollar business
That I had no idea
they
about.
produce like all the bike connectors for every bike in the world, along with like all of these Boeing advanced space parts. They have some of the most brilliant like laser cutting, metal cutting supercomputers right here in Macon.
Okay, I didn't see any of those jobs pop up on Indeed.
Right.
Yeah, I think they're specialized, you know.
And just in case you would never have known.
You would have never known.
And
Like,
that- and that's
you
the-
hadn't told us.
And that is the
Yeah.
other
Exactly,
thing.
right.
That is the other thing, because just like nobody gets out of Macon and has anything nice to say about Macon. Well, while they were here, what did Macon do for them?
Right. Yep. Yep. And so that's where seeing this, it just reminded me too. It's like, oh, it's not just our creatives. It's from the medical industry that we have a great one downtown. I mean, you know, we have watched that medical industry burgeon. And then, I mean, you know, but it's also down to these other, like, you know, there's a new
People
PPE
that aren't from here.
place opening up over on off of Heath Road.
What's that?
I didn't hear anything about
personal
that.
protective equipment.
All
like
the masks that we may not need going forward.
so, like, you know, I mean, things that feed these other things, and just like, you know, thinking of Macon as a, you know, rhizome itself, right? Like this we have 130,000 people here, and I mean, we were even joking about how small Macon is because it does seem to be. And yet you realize there's 130,000 people here. We are the like 148th largest city in the United States. And that's as of whenever, you know. I mean, now today we know people are moving in. We know that people are like, oh, I will come to Macon. I will open a business downtown. We're watching it happen. So it's like, it's really, it's weird how we've got this small town mentality, but as places like Triangle Arts come online, all of a sudden people are like, okay, all right, what I was seeing is true. Like, there really are these new ideas opening up and that are catering to me as the, you know, person I am, who, I mean, in today's age, right, you don't want to experience just sports. You want to go out and experience sports and art and music and science. And it's like, we have the ability with these phones in our pocket to learn so much, you know, and I feel like Macon's finally catching up with that in itself.
So one thing that I've definitely noticed in Macon, especially with all the people that, you know, we've spoken to and all the folks we brought together, and as we touched on just a little bit ago, is that so many things are hard to be a part of. And I think one of the best things that, you know, Triangle does and does very differently is that people that want to be a part of this, they just can be.
Absolutely.
And it's like, no, I want to do this and I want to contribute. And it's like, oh, dope, cool.
Yeah, come on.
Great.
Come
What
on.
can you do? What's your skill set?
It's
you
like,
know?
what can you do? What do you like to do? And it's very similar, you know, to our own.
Right.
Which is why I'm like, yeah, I think that's why, you know, the Madvocates and Triangle Arts work so well together. It's because, you know, whereas we really rely on, you know, accountability with each other and stuff like that, our main thing is, look, as long as you're not out there making the rest of the crew look stupid.
Right. Do what you do.
Do what you do and do it well, do it
Yep.
extravagantly, and I'm going to bring all the attention and all the fucking sunshine I can in the world your way.
Absolutely.
Just don't go around making the rest of us look like assholes.
Well, and it's that whole like idea of the high tides raise all ships, right? Where
Exactly.
it's like, you know, if we can bring the money in here, if we can get the people in here, it's not just Triangle and the Madvocates that win. It's every artist who has
Everybody,
a piece
Literally
yes.
everyone. The
Yep.
entire city wins. There is no more, well, let's get a grant for this one section of the
Right.
city. Let's get a grant for a mural, which, by the way, I don't understand that because, you know, murals pop up in the hood all the time for free. So I
Right.
don't understand why we need
Especially
grant
when somebody
money.
gets shot.
Right. I
Oh,
don't
no
know.
kidding.
It's kind of a tradition.
I don't know why we need
Somebody gets
grant
shot,
money.
they put up a mural.
Right. I don't know why we
For
need
free.
grant money for murals.
You know, it's one of those things where so just to shift tone there since you brought it up is I think, you know, it depends on how it's brought about, right? Like, and where it's placed and what it says. And so like I know they've got the idea of doing like this brand new mural wall at the new bridge that they're building over on MLK
Okay.
towards the Coliseum because it's this gateway spot. And so we're in talks, you know, just discussing ideas of what we can do there. So things like that, where it's like, this is the entranceway to your city. What can we say, you know, and who can we hire that's going to say it well? Like, you know, the Mercer piece that they erased, right? The Colin Kaepernick mural. Like that was a paid-for mural, but I thought that was an important mural,
Yeah, it was
right?
a statement.
It was, and it meant something to a lot of people, you know. So I would just, you know, argue like there are times to pay
Oh, yeah.
for something,
Absolutely. But I
on
guess
the flip side, right? There's a reason to have public artwork where it's just
There you go.
come here and do your thing. Be, you know, Krog Street Tunnel being that in Atlanta, where it is this living piece that makes the
Yeah.
city
and
special.
the thing is, I want that from Macon, but
Yes.
what my fear is at times that those kinds of things, when they are paid for, become kind of a manufactured thing.
Absolutely, and you've
And-
seen it time and time
Oh
again.
yeah, and then when it becomes just like a big old, well, welcome to Macon.
Right. What's the real point then? Because yeah, it could be anything, and at that point, you're almost better off watching somebody come over and take another take. You know. Yeah,
Exactly,
I
and it's
agree,
like I want
agree.
it to be. It's like if it's gonna be, let it be.
Right.
But let it be us. Let it actually be Macon.
Well, and that's where personally, you know, my biggest desire has always been hire local. Right. We have these people here. Let's bring them in, and that's one of the big things I respect about Rick too, is that he is very much like, who is right here, right now, who wants to
Absolutely.
do this work, you know, and I
Yes.
will put them to work. And if you don't work out, well, sorry, we'll see you later, because there's
We'll
other
find
people who
someone else,
can.
yeah.
But we'll try you out, right?
Right.
Like it's worth a shot to
Yep.
give everybody the benefit of the doubt.
And most of the time, that's just what anybody needs, a chance.
A chance. And here in Macon, that's what everyone begs for. Is just that one chance.
Let me show you.
Absolutely.
And I love that here, that one chance can literally just be a panel on a wall on a building.
Or right, even just the notion of
Yeah.
come out here and like tell us what you want
Come
to
out
do.
here. What do you want to do? What's your
ideas, you
what's
know?
your story, man? You just telling your story to the right person might make them go, dude, can I record that? Because I just want
Right.
I want to put that out there, and that's part of why we do what we do, because it's like, yeah, you're following small today, but with every person you talk to, that you're trying to signal boost, that you're trying to put out there, because the thing is, I want more people to know about Triangle. I want people to
Absolutely.
walk through Triangle. I want people to, tune into our show every week and go, oh yeah, so there's this going on this week at Triangle and this and this. They got this exhibit going on. They got a silent disco going on this week.
Exactly,
They got
exactly.
a food truck bazaar coming up this next weekend.
You know what? Let's cut through the bullshit, because I can feel your eyes and I can hear your minds as you're listening, and I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, how the fuck does it make money? How do I make money? It's always
not me?
It's always about the money, and it's got you enslaved. But here's the funny thing about it, or whatever. Hiring local is the most cost-effective thing you can do, because you can get great talent that gets to the venue fresh, because they didn't have to pay all that money and ride hours and hours to get where they're at. So you got fresh talent for way cheaper, because they live right here and the costs are low right here. It's just economical. So if you can't look at it from the altruistic standpoint, which we would love,
Please.
at least do it for your own pockets, you selfish
Right?
bastard.
And
Exactly.
you can always donate to Triangle Arts Macon. That's fine.
Right, and if
write-off.
and if you're lazy,
Absolutely.
and if you're lazy as hell, hey, just write a check. There you go.
You
Write
know,
a check.
hey, I mean, really, we take all types,
real.
you know. I
I
mean,
mean-
firstborns, anything.
Yeah.
We can do all types of things with everything you give us.
Anything is transactional when it all comes down to the betterment
Yes,
of
it
Macon.
is.
Okay, blood oaths, whatever. We got
really,
you.
really, we take it all.
Like, I mean, it's like, hey, you've seen Georgia government currently. Hell yeah, they'll take it all.
Yes.
No offense, but according to Marjorie and the rest of those psychos, a fetus is actually the most valuable thing on the planet.
Until it's born. Absolutely.
Even more so than the woman that is carrying it until it is born. Then it becomes a liability that you should have thought about before you had it.
Absolutely. Right. It's,
All
it's
those
really.
delicious stem cells.
Gosh, we're about to go off somewhere totally
Marjorie,
different, aren't we?
listen here, Marjorie. You think you're going to get away from me and my Madvocates? I think not.
I hear we're bringing Marjorie out here at some point soon.
We are
yes.
gonna while out
on
until
down.
she pays attention. Marjorie, I know you shot my ship down with those Jewish space lasers. I'm coming for you.
Marjorie,
I'm coming for you, Marjorie. Listen,
why you so mean?
Marjorie, my one question is, why are you yelling through mail slots to get people's attention? Baby, you could just walk right on down to Maconga. We could have a conversation. I got tons of questions for you, considering that you're supposedly my representative and you work for us and everything. I just got so many questions for you.
Especially since you won't reply to anything I post on your Facebook.
For real,
Marjorie.
That's rude.
Marjorie,
I'm just saying.
don't be rude, Marjorie. Listen,
If it's people over politics, why won't you resign?
right, Marjorie. I mean, I'm a taxpaying Georgia citizen, and I'm a wounded veteran, and I demand your attention with these questions that I have for you, Marjorie. Why are you telling people Jewish space lasers are a thing? What is going on with you? Why are you harassing AOC? Why are you yelling at people through mail slots? And why are you escorting people who were at the January 6th riot through the fucking White House and taking them on tours of areas so they can harass other Democratic representatives? What are you doing?
Basically, exactly.
Marjorie, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you acting like a bully in high school? What is your problem? You have mental illness. You need help, love.
You know where that wouldn't fly?
Come talk to me.
You know where that wouldn't fly?
Where?
Here in Maconga.
And that's when we hit you with,
God,
Marjorie, bet you won't.
Bet you won't.
Bet you won't.
South side of Chicago.
Shit.
Maconga, big.
Maconga, wild out. Madvocates.
We mad.
Madvocates, wild out. Oh yeah, so nice I had to say it twice. But I mean, it's. I think places like this stand in direct opposition to people like that.
Yes.
That shallow, weird cling to a milquetoast mediocrity that says, you know, if you're not a willing wage slave and willing to just yield over to whatever the old status quo was from 400 years ago, then you're a problem. And
it's not even the old status quo. It's just like this new make-believe status quo. I mean, it's
and they want to go back to this fictional time that literally only existed in black and white fucking sitcoms.
Yeah, right. It's insanity. No, and I mean, the just entire shift of this is, well, may it just tear the entire Republican Party apart so that we could just watch all of Georgia go blue, because I would love to watch Kemp get out of office.
The hilarious thing.
Soon.
I think the hilarious thing about it is, like, we're on the verge of like another third party starting. And I say, you know, the Republicans have rhinos. Hear me out. I say we start the dinos, okay? Democrats in name only. All right, our mascot's a fucking T-Rex.
A motherfucking T-Rex.
like
Because every millennial would vote for it based solely on the fact that the fucking
T-Rex.
mascot's a
Is
T-Rex.
a T-Rex? I think it's pretty brilliant, actually. It's a great way to go.
And it's like, what is it? It's literally millennial politicians that are running on things based on what millennials and Zoomers and the generations coming up are actually concerned
Well, whenever
about.
we can vote AOC into the presidency,
Yeah.
I am
It's like
ready
the whole
to go,
thing,
man.
and it's like, you're not even actually a Democrat. You're right. Yeah, I'm not a total wimp and a fucking sellout. Well, you're not a Republican either. Yeah, I'm not a complete corrupt bigot and an asshole borderline Nazi. You're right. Then what are you, bitch? I'm a motherfucking T-Rex.
And we've got grabbers. We're unstoppable.
It's like, man, I'm a motherfucking T-Rex with little grabby hands, okay? Look, I got over all my species bias, and my long-hand raptor brothers are over here collected money for the funds to get this shit started.
It's going to be a good party. I'm very excited to join, I got to say.
Hell yeah, dude.
All dinosaur.
It's
All dinosaur all the time.
It's just all dinosaur puns and shit like that, and we call all the old methods fossilized ideas.
I would know. I was there.
It's like all these weird ass boomer ideas, older than dinosaur bones, and I would know.
Don't you cite
was
old
there.
magic at me. I was there when it was written.
I'm 2 minutes older than dirt. I was there.
I just watched Land Before Time, like 6 or whatever it was, with my wife the other night.
Like 20 of those.
Oh my god, that
Yeah, there
first
is.
one though, his mother dies, and I'm like,
Spoilers.
like, oh my god, you're not seen it? Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah, right. All right, listen. If she
You're a
warning,
few years late to the party. Then, huh?
crewman, I gotta. Here's Captain's warning of the week for you, crewman. If you look her in the eyes and go, tree stars, and she goes, what? She's too young.
Yeah.
If you
Way
ask
too
her,
young
She
for you.
is.
Card them.
if you
Yeah.
ask him or her or them who loves orange soda and they don't know, walk away.
Way too young for
Way
you.
too young.
Oh man, things are changing rapidly, aren't they?
Yo, better yet, if you look at her, him, them, and go, yo, you got to use your noodle. Time to do that noodle dance,
And they don't know.
and they don't know what you're talking about.
Gotta walk away.
Walk away, bro. I mean, if they don't know nothing about that PB&J order, Bear in the Big Blue House, yo, too
Big Blue House,
young,
Yes.
too young. The question,
That is the question.
It dropped the bomb on
the
you.
question, is Ubi really like you? And if she doesn't remember him, now you need to pull out too.
Oh, my.
That's it.
Yeah,
And
for
some
those guys
people-
that only pay attention when I rhyme, I had to put that in there.
I caught it.
Yeah, man, I had to. You know, as Chris knows, I'm always one to throw the alley oops up there. Every time.
That's right. And if you don't know.
Ah, yes.
Oh, yeah, it is.
That rain.
Yep.
Yeah.
That,
Very
that,
good.
of course, we would
It's
just
like
be.
the state's been trying to take a bath lately.
It needed it.
Yeah.
It was looking a little filthy.
Well, you'd feel dirty too if Marjorie had her hands all over you.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking
Yeah.
through your slot and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Marjorie's just talking through George's slot, and it feels dirty.
Before or after she cheats on her husband with men she met at her gym?
Allegedly.
Google it. Google it.
Allegedly.
Did they bathe
I think it was
first?
before.
Of course they didn't. Come on, she watched him work out. They watched her work out. And then they got a taste of Marjorie's tailored greens.
Ew.
When she opened that slot, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Some of that GOP. Grand old, hey!
How you doing? Good to see you.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Yes.
Delicious.
Oh man, I mean, according to those that were willing to risk it, not really, because any of the guys that she cheated on her husband with didn't go back for more. So maybe she started asking them eugenics questions.
Or
I don't
about
sleep
Q.
with black men because I don't want to contribute to white genocide. I don't know. Marjorie, come talk to me. I got questions.
Marjorie, too.
Okay.
I gotta check your.
Marjorie, I
research.
want you to look at any of these art pieces and tell me what it makes you think of.
How does this make you feel?
You don't feel? I fucking knew it.
I feel like the Democrats are plotting
Uh-huh.
to.
And bullying us.
Oh, you feel the funniest thing in the world. The woman that runs after, shooting survivors and bullies them in the street
And calls them crisis actors.
and calls them crisis actors. That
You are a crisis
and this lady got voted in. And what is wrong? What is
ain't
wrong
voting.
with you guys in North Georgia, man?
Kidding.
Well,
I
they
ain't
have
voting
done
for that
things that they're not proud of in their life too.
Yeah, it was really funny. We were watching people get interviewed that voted for her, and they're like, well, that was before she was a politician. It's like, no, actually, dude, that was when she was trying to become a politician. She was going around saying all these anti-Semitic things. And
Like, yeah, you really don't remember the commercials from just the other year, huh?
oh man,
Strange.
just her. It's fantastic. Like when the anti-John Ossoff commercials were coming out, where they were editing his nose to be bigger and stuff, and I'm like, wow, the Republicans are really mask off.
It just showed you how much money ended up in Georgia for that race on both sides. It was astounding. I've never seen right.
Who remembers
nitpicky
Warnock's
attacks like that.
Warnock's goddamn
America.
like it's
Gotta cut it.
Radical liberal.
radical liberal Raphael
It's like
Warnock.
Kelly had to say the entire thing every time to remember
Every
her
time.
points.
Every time that woman
Kinda
said,
like Super Sailor Moon.
unlike, yeah, exactly, the new Sailor Moon reboot. Me and Chris watched it, of course. You
And
know,
I answered all your questions.
yes, that's fine. You can answer all the questions you want. It doesn't change the fact that it literally sounds like saying Super Sailor Moon every time you address her is identical to that lizard woman cyborg looking over and going, radical liberal Raphael Warnock every time she said a sentence. Okay? It literally felt like that. Okay? And that is why in Japanese anime dubs, they need to just say the goddamn character's name and not what the power-up is before their name. Because that's like, look, okay, you can't keep doing that. Or it's unprofessional.
Well, she ranked up, so you got to say the whole new rank.
No.
It's like a Tribe Called Quest. You got to say the whole
Okay,
thing.
then you know what? Say then be like, yo, Super Moon, or shorten that shit. Like,
Her name's been Sailor Moon for the longest, and
Right.
you just put a super in front, so it's an adjective describing the Sailor Moon you've known
Right.
all these years.
it's not like she fused with anybody else.
She's still the
It's
same
canonical
Sailor
to
Moon.
the-
And
it's
then the fact that it's-
canonical to the
I've
manga.
not
We
seen
get
this
that.
yet.
And
and
that's how it was in the season that the movie
I don't
is
care. And
surmising.
the fact that a motherfucker that wasn't even there when she became Super Sailor Moon
Actually called her.
showed up calling her Super
just
Sailor Moon.
knows.
Like, how did you
He
know?
can
How'd you know?
tell.
How
did
He
you
knew
know?
the.
So wait,
Oh,
wait, wait,
that's the
CJ,
Super
you're
Bowl.
telling me this dude showed up, looked her up and down, and went, whoa, wait a minute.
Something's
The
different
skirt-
here. Yes.
Now the
Just
skirt-
look at your hair. It's
Is
your
her
hair different?
skirt a little different? You must be Super Sailor Moon and Super Chibi Moon.
Yes.
She's like, no, it's still
The
just
fact
Sailor
that
Moon.
the fact that Chibi Moon is also Super Chibi Moon now,
There you go.
and it's like, wait a minute. Okay, so why isn't it Super Jupiter now? It's
Because
just
they're not super.
but
they don't get to be super.
But they all got new special attacks and found the power of friendship and self-reliance. So why don't they get to be Super Jupiter and Super?
No,
I
they
think
got
Is the
evening
show-
gowns. They got dresses.
Bruh,
Is
Super
there
Jupiter sounds way cooler
It does.
than Super Sailor Moon anyway.
Yeah, which
Well,
does
is the
just sound redundant.
show Sailor Jupiter?
It should be.
That aside,
It
is
should
it?
be Sailor Mercury, but that's my personal opinion.
Is
Shout outs to the blue
show
hair girls.
Sailor Mars.
Y'all already know your captain loves you, blue hair
What
girls.
is the name of the show?
Blue hair-
Sailor, which one?
Blue hairs, red hairs, purple hairs. I forgot what we were talking about.
We were talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene for Congress retweeting freaking QAnon decoder tweets in 2018. That's what we were talking about.
Oh, damn. That totally took all the purpley blue pigmentation out of my joy.
Yep.
Just-
Yeah.
I gotta suck the fun out of it because we gotta go soon. We gotta get to the part where we talk about what's coming. Not what's
The
been.
things about coming.
Listen, let me tell you what's. I'll tell you what's coming. I'll tell you what's coming. Retribution for what you did to my ship, Marjorie. But on to more positive things that are on the horizon.
Oh, well, we've got like an aeronautics company like right here in town. We can get parts now.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean,
Okay.
like, look.
They'd probably help us.
So here's the deal. What do we got coming up here on the 11th?
We have a open house coming up. We have gotten our bathrooms done. We've got our studio spaces renovated. We've got our kitchen open. We've got our sanctuary building in the process. We've got our Wonder Calmer with an amazing group of Madvocates in it. Like, we have some stuff actually moving. So we will be hosting our Triangle Arts Macon open house from 5 to 8 o'clock on this Friday, June 11th. So come on down, come check it out. We'd love for you to come see the space, see all the brand new artwork. We just did a Nels birthday celebration. Nels was a wonderful, fantastic, amazing man and graffiti artist and artist in general who we sadly lost last year in 2020 to a car accident. But we did a small dedication for him in December and just had the artist Colin come back down from Atlanta, who knew him very well. And they finished that piece off, so we've got the dedication piece finished off for Nels. We've got a whole bunch of brand new art pieces that they just threw up around the space over on Saturday and Sunday, so there's some new artworks to come and take a look at out here, and just a lot of renovation, a lot of revitalization, like it's really, really moving out here finally.
All right, so that's 1,700 to 2,000 for you anal retentive 24-hour clock types like myself.
Absolutely.
5 to 8 p.m., June 11th. Your favorite Marooned crew will be there too. That's right, we're going to be there. We're going to try to be doing some live stuff. It's going to be fun. We're going to ask some questions, talk
Maybe
to the
get some
folks
answers.
on the scene. Oh, I always get answers.
But if you talk to Marty, they might not be the right ones.
Oh, no. No, I think Marty just answers anything.
He does.
I think I saw Marty answer wind.
He did. Yes.
It was like, oh shit, no, Marty, we're not going to get this. Isn't Bangkok,
Marty,
and we're not going
over here.
Marty, no,
Over here.
Marty, you and your dog, come here, Marty.
Oz. He is the wizard, and thank God he's got Oz.
Yeah,
Keep it going.
clearly. Thank God he's got that little yellow brick lab to
follow around
to
this
make sure that
beautiful property.
Yeah, he's just following her around, and you can tell he'd be lost without her. But come on down, folks. See us. See Triangle. See why this perfect trifecta comes together to make a diamond in the rough that is Maconga. I'm Captain Flint. Anything you guys want to say to the crewmen before we head on out? Y'all make sure that you tune in on the 11th. We're going to be trying to do something ambitious, something delicious.
Might be nutritious.
It's always nutritious.
It's almost suspicious.
So speaking
It's
of
suspiciously nutritious. I am one of the major food groups. Okay?
He's the top of the pyramid.
I really am, bro. I'm just kind of sitting up there like it's mine.
Speaking of things that are good for you, also on that Friday at 3 p.m., I believe that's
1,500.
1,500. Thank you, sir. We have a mental health pop-up gym down at 1146 3rd Street Lane, right here in Macon. Just come on down. It's free of charge. Bring your sweats.
There you go. All right.
And a bottle of water.
Okay.
And take your meds.
And do that. Drink your water. Take your meds. As Quartermaster always says. See Wind, anything to say to the folks?
If people are going to yell through your slot, you might as well make some money in the process. Peace.
Ayo, we'll see you next time, folks.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.